Welcome back to another edition of Diamond's Edge. My name is Greg Diamond, editor of 10 Stock Trader at Stansberry Research. And this week we're going to look at why the Magnificent Seven might not be as magnificent over the next few weeks or so. So let's get started. So first, the Magnificent Seven, kind of Wall Street came up with this in terms of, 7 major stocks that have led this rally since October of 2022 or January 2023, however you want to look at it. But basically, this nice bull run we've been in, there's basically 7 stocks that have led, and that is Apple, Amazon, Alphabet or Google, Microsoft, Meta or Facebook, Tesla, and Nvidia. Now, Tesla's kind of fallen by the wayside, so we're going to exclude that in terms of, leading the market now. So I think we can, if you want to call it Magnificent Six now, we can do that. But regardless of what you want to call it, these are the stocks that are leading. So this week we have Nvidia coming out and with earnings. So this is going to be important. So from the low, let's jump into a stock here. Okay. So from the low, we can see it's just had a magnificent run. And I use that term literally because it's been up 590%. All right. So now let's take it recently. Okay. So going back to late last year into this rally, now I have this Elliot Wave count on this chart. Okay. And as you can see, it's a 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly what's going to happen with earnings or the very, 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 very short term, reaction to what it might be or could be. That's not my goal. My goal is to, over the last few weeks, whether you're a 10 Stock Trader subscriber or you've started to watch Diamond's Edge, these videos, I've been calling for a short term top in the market. And that really culminated, I think, last week, which, I had pegged February 14th, but it was really this week or last week, possibly into early March. But you can see how some of these stocks have started to top out. I'm going to show you even more evidence of that this week. Okay. So back to Nvidia, let me show you there's a couple different scenarios that I have that I want to highlight. The first is, let's say that today, or tomorrow marks a low, and then we get a small rally into next week. This could create a situation like this. Okay. All right. This is where, we could see a lot of volatility. Now, in addition to just this Elliott Wave price, and again, without getting too much into the details about Elliott Wave, it's a series of 5 waves and 3 waves. Okay. But also look at the technical indicators here. We have an overbought RSI that is starting to slope to swing down, and then the composite index on the lower level is as well. Now, as you can see, this is diverging with these price highs. That is a big warning of a top, and of course, we're seeing that now this week with this red bar down here. Now, again, maybe this creates a short-term low, and Nvidia rallies after the earnings. That's fine, but as you can see, based on the rules of Elliott Wave, that probably isn't going to last very long. Okay. So this is one scenario to think about. And this red box here from 640, call it down to 600. This is a support area in Nvidia that I would be looking for, possibly down here into late March. Now, what do these vertical lines mean? These are the next set of time factors. Okay. So I had last week as a short-term time factor, again, the week, from February 12th to February 16th. We can see that worked out pretty well. Okay, now what do we look for next? Next is around March 1st, and then to the end of the month, which is, call it March 21st, springtime to around, March 25th, March 29th, something like that. Okay, now this is where we could see actually an opportunity to buy. So I'm not telling you that you need to go out and start selling everything and we're going to see, a 50% drop in the S&P and you need to go hide at a bunker. That's not my goal here. My goal is to look at price and time and tell you, look, this is where you should be either looking for shorts or maybe not buying as aggressively, even if you're not a trader like I am. That's the goal. That's the message that I want to hit home. Okay. So this is Nvidia. This is one scenario. We could see another scenario where, it doesn't make a new high. And again, it just could get volatile, could get choppy. Okay. And then, yes, we could see a low into March. Okay. Followed by, let's say this is the optimal scenario. Okay. We get February marks the high. We get some choppiness, maybe even look something like this, really, really choppy. Buyers try to get in. We dive down into this support level. the RSI and composite index probably become more oversold, and then we get a low into a later time factor that creates another high. Okay. And then you start getting into the summer months, but I'm not focused on that right now. All right. So that's Nvidia. Let's look at the other ones now. Okay. And I want you to focus on when price topped out. I also want you to look at the indicators. Okay. So I'm going to remove all these, I'm going to remove some of this stuff here, but look, this is Apple. Okay. Now Apple topped out. Its all-time high here was on last year, just December 14th, as a matter of fact. Okay. But it made a lower high here into late January. Okay. And then you can see here into February, it just hasn't been keeping pace. Okay. Let's look at Amazon. Same type setup. And again, it's important to hit home, and I talk about this with 10 Stock Trader subscribers all the time. Okay. And that is that tops are a process. It takes time. Not all stocks are going to top out at the exact same time. That's why I've been talking about, last week and then possibly March 1st, and then we have later March time factors to focus on. Okay. But again, here's Amazon. This topped out on February 12th. Okay. Now let's look at Google or Alphabet. Okay. And here we have again, this topped out end of January. Okay. January 30th, January 29th. And then look at where it's made its lower high last week, February 12th. All right. Let's look at Meta, formerly Facebook. Look when this topped out. February 15th. Okay. Now, again, maybe this could pop up. That's fine. All right. Let's look at Microsoft. You can see I had this from earlier, one of my earlier videos, and that turned out to be pretty good. We looked at a March or a wave 5 high into this rally or into these time factors, and this topped out, February 9th, February 12th, and it hasn't recovered since. Now, again, could this bottom out here soon, make another rally, then drop it down into late March and then a rally? Absolutely. Again, this is a short-term top. The topping process is happening among these important stocks. So that's what to focus on. And then, we can look at Tesla. And again, I mentioned at the start that Tesla just has not kept pace with the rest of this market. So you can see it's just kind of a choppy mess in here. It did bottom and had a nice rally, but it's kind of been messy here of late. So something I'm going to stay away from. So Nvidia earnings going to be important, but again, with these stocks that have been leading for, let's call it 12 to 18 months in the market, if those are starting to all top out, what does that tell you? It probably tells you that you don't want to be as aggressive buying these stocks. Again, I'm not saying that you need to go out and short everything and go 100% cash. That's not what I'm telling you. But understanding when to get aggressive, when not to get aggressive, and this, from my perspective as a time and price technical trader, is telling me not to get as aggressive buying these leading stocks. All right. So be on the lookout for that, and I will see you next week. Thank you.